Welcome back to the Geek Fix right here on Thinking Critical, exclusive to Patreon. Although we do have one subject that's going to go up on YouTube. How are you doing today, Aaron?
I'm doing well, Wes. I'm doing better than we're doing so far in this video. You know, Monica will clean it all up for us, but I keep messing up your intro. I keep throwing you off.
And if people want to meet Aaron Sparrow live and in person, and they're on the East Coast, they can do that this weekend? What the hell's going on here?
I will be in New Jersey this weekend. I will be at Legions Con in New Jersey. It is the Four Horsemen convention for their toy lines, Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions. I will be there signing books. I'll be there painting live. And if you want custom action figure parts painted, come on down and see me.
Very nice. New Jersey, the hemorrhoid of the United States. Beautiful place to be.
I know El Paso is the anus, so it seems weird that the hemorrhoid is so far away.
It's something like that. All right, so let's get into this. It turns out, like, all these conspiracy theories and all the mocking that fans have been taking, like, over the last 5 or 6 years, it turns out like all of it was true. Yes, there are a lot of shill review sites that weren't actually providing true reviews of movies and stuff. They're actually being bought and paid for. And this week we learned that there really are executives at companies, talking about HBO this week, that are going out there and using sock puppet accounts to discredit their critics online.
Absolutely. It's unbelievable, except that it's completely believable. We've been saying it for the longest time. We've suspected it. We've had people, talking about it, and it all came to light. First of all, you had Gina Carano drop the fact that Disney Lucasfilm does that. They actually fanned the flames of hatred so that they could, they could shield their product that they were turning out that wasn't very good. And now we're seeing admissions from HBO CEO that he did that as well. And if they're doing it, that they've got employees that are doing it. They've got bots that are doing it. So a lot of the people that you encounter on Twitter that are giving you pushback when you give an opinion probably aren't even real.
It's crazy. This all isn't only in entertainment. I follow a lot of sports, and a couple of years ago, like, the general manager, the guy that made like all the business decisions, well, not business decisions, but all the roster construction decisions, Philadelphia 76ers, he was caught doing the same thing, and they fired him immediately. But apparently it's no big deal in Hollywood. You can actually just go out there and create a sock bucket account, go out there and gaslight people, the fans, the customers, and they don't seem to have a big deal about it. They're like, oh yeah, we did it. No big deal.
Well, it may become a big deal if lawsuits start flying, because a lot of these accounts have defamed people. They've, called them anti-Semites. They've called them racist. They've called them bigots and homophobes. And, all kinds of damage has been done to individual people, to their careers, to their livelihoods, to their ability to function in society. There's a lot of damage that's happening. There's a lot of speculation as to whether or not Gina Carano has receipts, if she's going to be able to sue Disney. If there were Disney employees that were on the Lucasfilm dime that were sent out to call her an anti-Semite, to call her a transphobe, these things are all going to they're all going to come out in discovery, and there may be class action lawsuits over this. So it may turn out to be a very big deal.
And it makes so much sense, because I remember, when I saw the Last Jedi, I was like, man, this movie isn't very good. And I said a few things online, and they weren't even that bad. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to watch another Star Wars movie. And all of a sudden, just all these accounts that didn't really have any followers or anything, they just started blasting me with like the exact same talking points. It was like 8 or 9 of them, like attacking me all at the same time, trying to make me feel like I was isolated and alone, trying to make me feel stupid or whatever. And then it kind of all makes sense. It was actually people, I don't know if it was actually somebody working for Lucasfilm, but it was probably somebody that they hired as a firm to go out there and try and make people feel stupid for raising pretty legitimate concerns.
Yeah, and then you can hook in, the thing is you just get the ball rolling, and then you can hook in all the weird autistic people on Twitter who are obsessed with these things. And, they'll come after you, too.
Another conspiracy theory that had been out there for quite some time was that a lot of these review sites, these reviews weren't being honest about what was actually coming out. And we've also seen the reveal that within the last few years, Disney was actually going out there and paying critics to give really favorable reviews. And obviously, they were giving them early access to their content. They were going to let them go to the red carpet premieres and all that stuff just to sway them to give them more favorable reviews on stuff that wasn't good to begin with.
It's really funny. You don't even have to bribe people with money necessarily to get them to sell their souls. Some people will just sacrifice their integrity for a pink cupcake party at Disneyland, or getting invited to some screening where you get to see the celebrities from 70 feet away, and then take pictures of yourself on the red carpet and put it on Instagram and tell everyone what a shill you are. It's like I've got all kinds of contacts. I've got all kinds of people that I know that they're influencers. So they're at every premiere, and after every premiere. Here's a picture of them on the red carpet going, oh my God, Secret Empire was so good, you guys. I can't wait for you to see it all. And it's like, there's no way that you think that. There's no way that you think that. You're just playing the game. And I get it. You want to be an actor, you want to be an actress, whatever it is. You feel like you got to play the game. But what price is your integrity, man?
Well, apparently it's not much. Like I said, I used to watch Collider all the time. I think I've mentioned this story a few times here on the channel, but I would go to their site all the time. I would watch their videos, like 3 or 4 videos, maybe sometimes in a day, depending on how busy it was. But then when I realized that they were bought and paid for, that the reason they were saying that, like The Last Jedi, which is an objectively absolutely terrible movie, was amazing across the board, I was like, oh yeah, they were at the red carpet premiere. They were wearing costumes like the fucking characters and all that stuff. And that's all that it really cost to get them on board to actually sell their souls off for a movie that absolutely sucked.
Yeah, that movie is objectively terrible. If you break it down and you actually watch it like minute by minute and think about what you're watching, pause it and actually think about what each scene that you've just watched. It's terribly written. It's terribly constructed. It's terribly edited. The only thing it has going for it is it's got some interesting visuals here and there that are nice to look at, but it's not in support of anything. And so that movie is objectively trash. And you had so many people that were willing to come out and just be like, I love Star Wars. And you're always going to have those people. You're always going to have the people who, as long as they see some lightsabers and they see some spaceships, they think that that's what Star Wars is. And unfortunately, that's what Disney thinks Star Wars is. But, there's nobody there constructing solid stories. Ahsoka is terrible. I hear Andor is good, but who cares? Obi-Wan Kenobi, terrible. Like, so much bad product has been put out, and you can only do so much of that before your entire brand is just devastated.
And that was the point of critics, is because this isn't my neighbor who never gets out and watches movies. And maybe this is the one movie he's seen in the last 2 years and he's just blown away because he remembers lightsaber battles when he was a kid. The reason you go to critics is so, hey, I've got money in my pocket. Should I spend it on this movie? They're going to give me an honest review of what's going on here. And with everything that's kind of come out with that, the fact that they're bought and paid for, we've got all this shilling going on about the Marvels right now. Like, there's no trust there. And they wonder why, like, all their clicks and everything have basically just disappeared. And there's no relationship between the customer and the actual critics themselves, because there's no belief that they're being honest anymore.
Yeah, and they're going to come out with a bunch of, it's like, oh, okay, so Marvel's is desperate. Like, the box office looks dire. So what do? We cut together a bunch of trailers that are lies, where we show you a bunch of, Iron Man scenes and Captain America scenes and stuff from Endgame, and we try to tie this terrible new villain that nobody gives a shit about. We try and tie her to Thanos in the trailer. And then maybe some normies get tricked to go see the movie thinking that they're going to get this continuation of Endgame, and instead it's just this trash Freaky Friday, Disney Plus TV show up on the screen as a movie. It's really disheartening, and that kind of thing just burns it out quicker. It's such a short-term gain to lie to your customers just to get them in for a movie that's obviously going to fail, not just taking the L. But now you've lied to people, so they're less likely to see your next thing that you do, even if you do put out an honest trailer.
Yeah, and you have so many places out there trying to refute losses and stuff like that, acting like just the production budget itself is what needs to be earned back. And it's like, come on, everyone knows there's a marketing budget, especially for a movie that costs $300 million. Don't even try to sell me that freaking Indiana Jones or The Flash or any of these movies ended up breaking even in the end, because there's so much information out there that has actually been verified. People know just how much it's going to take. I don't understand the disinformation thing. And to go out there and just call people names, and they've been doing that for so long. They've been trolling the fans. And I think that's one of the reasons that people responded so positively to the Pandaverse stuff from South Park, was they were like, finally, somebody's out there trolling these assholes.
Well, it's also the reason that YouTube has exploded, is because people are looking for honest assessments, even if they disagree with you, or they don't, they don't agree with you as strongly as, if you and I are like, The Last Jedi sucks and it's an abomination. And, there's some people that are like, well, I didn't like it, but I don't think it's that bad. Even if they don't completely agree with you, they at least want to hear an honest opinion about what it is that that you viewed. They can objectively look at something and they know whether or not they're being lied to. Everybody's so suspicious now because we know how much the media lies to us about everything, from the government all the way down. So of course media is lying to you. Of course that these billion-dollar corporations are going to try to sell you a bill of goods, especially when they know they have a product that's a wet fart that they're trying to to dump into theaters. I don't think anybody is excited for this film. Everybody's just kind of like taking a really kind of mocking, attitude towards it. So, of course the companies know that. They're going to try to lie to you and they're going to try to gaslight you. And now we see that, it even extends, as we all suspected, to them outright going out and trying to character assassinate you with fake accounts on the internet.
And obviously the biggest winner probably in all this, I guess, is Gina Carano. You mentioned her a couple of times where she was absolutely defamed. People were dogpiling on. She got fired basically for nothing from Disney. And then she kind of gave out Kathleen Kennedy and Star Wars' playbook on how they actually go out there and attack the fans, which was a lot of things that people had suspected, but now we're having it all proven. And, is she going to get her job back? Probably not, but she certainly deserves it after all the crap she took.
Well, she may do even better. She may, she got out of Star Wars before it became a failed product. The Mandalorian season 2 was kind of riding high on a lot of fan goodwill because a lot of the fan service that was done and the restoration of Luke Skywalker. So she kind of they kind of did her a favor. She got out right before everything fell apart. And if she does have a lawsuit on her hands and she wins, she could end up much better financial position than she would have continuing to act within the Star Wars universe, even having her own show.
And we see a lot of these studios kind of going out of their way to try and do like quick fixes on things. We've seen the pictures of Snow White and the really weird CGI dwarves. Obviously, they're sneaking some stuff into the end of the Marvels because I think the fans have kind of turned against the company and they're trying to do anything just to get people to not be mad at them anymore.
Yeah, it's really funny because the little teaser scene at the end of the Marvels that was rumored has already been leaked online, and I watched it. And spoilers if you don't want to jump out now if you don't want to hear this, but I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is Kelsey Grammer's Beast at the end in a scene that looks like it was just shot with a regular doctor in the room. And then they went and they got Kelsey Grammer to come in and do some voice work, and then CGI'd a Beast to stick into the movie. The Beast looks pretty good, but the scene itself is absolutely ridiculous. It's the acting in it is painful. The big reveal was that she's in another universe where Maria Rambeau exists as binary, which of course is going to upset Twitter because she should have been non-binary. But also, it's just such a stupid scene, and it's so poorly acted. Like the actress that plays Monica Rambeau has like an emotional reaction that's kind of like the meme of the guy who just starts crying when he finds out about his son. He's like, like she kind of does the same thing. And Lashana Lynch is just an absolute plank, as she is in pretty much everything. So the scene itself is just very dull. The only thing is you get a CG Beast voiced by Kelsey Grammer, which feels like it was inserted after the fact. So good job, Marvel. That's going to put butts in seats.
Definitely feels like Kevin Feige is going to the pander stone just a little too often these days.
Definitely. And that's not going away anytime soon. The pander stone is now part of the cultural zeitgeist, and that's what it's going to be referred to whenever it's obvious that's what's happening.
Yeah, because they can't sell it on objective fact because no one's going to believe anything that comes out the first week. I just made a video for the channel tomorrow. It'll be up on YouTube on Thursday, talking about this stuff. I was like, I don't believe any of this stuff that comes out in the first week because of all the things that I know. And now I don't trust anybody that's just coming in there and blasting me on an opinion I have on anything because there's a good chance it's Kathleen Kennedy, trying to silence me or whatever now.
Can you imagine being the head of Lucasfilm and having all these projects in development, yet you still spend time worrying about a couple of people on Twitter? Like, that's how thin-skinned you are? How much must you know that you are a fraud? If you have to go out and just continually try to silence people.
It also kind of gives credence to the idea that Twitter opinion was driving like the decision matrix at these major studios. Like, what is Twitter saying about this? And they're trying to control the argument and point it in one direction, so they can get money behind their ideas or whatever. Another fan conspiracy that's out there is like, Twitter isn't real. People can get as many Twitter accounts as they want, and they all say the same thing. I've seen so many examples of the exact same tweet from different accounts saying the exact same thing where it's clear these aren't human beings now, but people have actually been making decisions on the futures of their companies based on a fucking Twitter.
And the hilarious part is they're only going to Twitter when it agrees with their confirmation bias. So as long as there's people on Twitter saying what you already want to do, you use that as market research. But when all of YouTube, when all of people who are legitimately on camera, who exist as real people, are telling you what the problems with your product is and telling you that you're headed for the iceberg, you just try to defame them instead of actually listening to them and using them as market research. It's just all backwards. It's all ego. And anybody in Hollywood right now who has behaved this way, they deserve to fail. They deserve what they get.
Well, and just think about all the companies, your DCs, your Marvels, video game companies, movie companies, cartoon companies that have been going to social media for an idea of what people want to consume. And then everything's been blowing them up. It's Acme Dynamite after Acme Dynamite. They're like, what? We were told that this is what people wanted. It turns out, yeah, because you weren't listening to real people. And that's how you fuck yourself over. Like, there have been real voices behind these opinions this whole time, but you chose to ignore them and listen to sock puppet accounts and then destroy your entire brains in the process.
Yeah, listen, here's some good advice just for anybody. If the account has an anime avatar and a fake name, just disregard its opinion entirely. Even if it's a real person, they don't have any money.
It's a lot of people out there without any money. Now, Aaron, this conversation is not over. It's going to continue for like another, I don't know, hour and 40 minutes or something. The Geek Fix, we do it every Wednesday right here on the channel. And we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. And today we're going to review Blade 2 and do some other stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to talking about Blade 2. That's a phenomenal movie.
Absolutely. And that's going to be exclusive to Patreon, where we're going to finish up this podcast. And I do welcome all of you to check out the link in the video description. Check it out, see what we're offering there, and see if maybe that's for you, because you'll get lots more of Aaron Sparrow, Jim from Weird Science, and lots more of Doc. We get more of him than anybody else.
So much Doc. It's like pure, unfiltered, concentrated Doc. Just coming at your face.